Hi, this is Jim Bovard. In this age of social media and AI illusions, an old Russian scam provides the best lens to understand America's two most recent presidents. In 18th century Tsarist Russia, a fake village was built by a Russian governor named Potemkin to deceive Catherine the Great about the condition of the peasants that she ruled. Potemkin village has become a well-known term for political cons. In Washington a few years ago, the media partnered with the Biden White House to concoct a Potemkin village to deceive Americans about President Joe Biden's faltering fitness for office. Biden got lost on stage so many times that Waze should have created a special app for Joe to navigate his next steps. Most of the media colluded with the White House to hide Biden's growing debility. The biggest Potemkin village pretense was the notion that Biden was actually in charge of the federal government. If The Wizard of Oz was a Biden-era political story, the media would overwhelmingly have sided with the guy behind the curtain. Donald Trump is not as physically feeble as Joe Biden, though Trump is a shadow of his first-term self as far as his vitality. But Trump's delusions on the Iran war seem as bad or worse than any imaginary vision that sent Joe Biden wandering off stage at the wrong time. Perhaps Trump was utterly deluded before he gave the order to kidnap the president of Venezuela, but Trump was certainly deranged when he assumed he could topple the Iranian government as easily as he sent U.S. troops into South America. After the U.S. and Israel launched a surprise attack that killed the Iranian government leadership, Trump began boasting every few days that the U.S. had already won the war. At last count, Trump has won the war at least 40 times. The Iranian government responded to the U.S. bombing by closing the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most important waterways in the world for oil. Trump began supplementing his victory boasts in the war by bragging that he had also reopened the Strait of Hormuz many times. But Trump's declarations have done nothing to stifle the fears of shippers or insurance companies who watch oil tankers still getting hit by drones or mines or other attacks. President Trump is posting endless AI photos of himself as a conqueror of Iran, including more than a dozen separate images on Sunday afternoon. Social media has provided a real-time tool for tracking Trump's unraveling as the Iranian war has wrecked his presidency and his credibility. But Trump's delusions are probably too deep to be expunged by any degree of failure, especially since he's personally making billions of dollars of corrupt profits as president, regardless of the wreckage that his policies inflict on America and the world. In March, Trump bragged to New York Times reporters that he possessed more power than either Stalin or Adolf Hitler ever possessed. Trump flourished a document proving that accomplishment. It later leaked out that the proof was written by a golf caddy, not a historian. Trump's actions on Iran vivify how he believes there is no constraint on his absolute power, either at home or abroad. Trump felt no obligation to notify Congress or the American people before he took the nation to war. Trump felt no obligation to justify the carnage he inflicted in the name of the U.S. He felt no obligation to admit wrongful killings or atrocities that forces under his command committed, including the 171 people killed at the girls' school at Mainab, Iran. He felt no obligation not to erase 4 dead American soldiers from the war's death count simply to burnish his own bragging rights about the low cost of the great victories that he delivered. In 2024, Donald Trump sought re-election by promising to end the endless wars. If Trump had been honest with voters and instead proclaimed, "I want more power than Hitler," even Kamala Harris could have whipped his ass. How many more people will perish before Trump's Potemkin war on Iran ends?